Okay, hello everybody. Welcome into this episode of Unwritten. My name is Colin McGuire. I'm your co-host along with Jess. How are you, Jess?
I'm good, Colin. How are you?
I'm well. It is the fall, so that's it's not as hot out. It's not as hot, but it's great to have our guest this week, Steve Stolipher, the Jefferson County Commission president, probably the most important person we've ever interviewed, right, Jess?
Probably.
Oh, you have a lot of expectation to fill, sir. You really do.
Well, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I appreciate being here and having the opportunity to talk to you guys and try to answer any questions that you might have for me.
Well, I kind of want to start and just with a fundamental thing at the beginning. You became commissioner, and then it seemed like within about 7 seconds you were president because former President Compton left. He left the area, and you kind of assumed the position. Was this something you expected? Did you want to be president? Did anybody have to convince you? How did that come about?
I didn't have any expectations of being chairman certainly this year or anytime soon. I was put in at the beginning of the year as vice chair. So for a few meetings, I automatically stepped up to take on the chairmanship role, president role. And then once we seated Commissioner Ath into former Commissioner Compton's seat, we voted. Someone that nominated me to be the chair, the acting chair, and then it was a unanimous vote. So that's how I ended up there. I ended up there very quickly. Certainly, I was enjoying reading and watching President Compton and see how he ran county business. But I had a short window to learn, and so far everything's worked out very well. I've been on other boards in the county, have been chairman of other boards in the county, so it wasn't too much of a learning curve for me.
So how did you get your start in local politics? Was there ever anything that inspired you to take action, I guess is the way to word it?
Yes. I was born and raised here in Jefferson County on my family's farm. And I went to school here and I attended Shepherd College. And I saw a lot of my classmates move out of the county for employment. And that's when I wanted to get involved in politics. I wanted Jefferson County to be a place where people could live, work, and play. We have a lot of smart kids graduating our high schools and colleges in this area, and then they move away. I want to try to create a job force here that will keep them here in West Virginia and keep some of our most precious assets here, which is our kids and have, so they'll as well have a place where they can raise their family and they can live, work, and play here in Jefferson County.
Can I ask you what your profession is? I've kind of wondered what you do outside of the commission.
I am a commercial real estate broker. I'm also an auctioneer, and I do work on our family farm as well. Wait,
an auctioneer? So you're the one who talks really fast and all of that?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. That's a skill. When did you start doing that at a young age, or is that something you just picked up?
No, I picked it up. I wanted to have the opportunity to, I primarily auction off real estate. So I went to Charleston and got my auctioneer license primarily to auction off real estate, but I also auction off heavy equipment as well too, and farm equipment.
Jess, aren't you impressed?
I was waiting on you to ask him for a demonstration.
I know. I was gonna say, can we get 5 seconds of it? Oh, wow. This all makes so much sense now because you like to move along the meetings, which I really appreciate. I really, really do. Is that something that when you came in, you wanted to kind of make sure everything moved along? Because Josh was like that too. He was kind of fast, not as fast as you, but he was pretty fast himself. Did you find that some of those meetings kind of dragged a little bit?
I did. I feel, again, like I'll go back to, when I was on previous boards and we were volunteers. So and I'll talk about the planning commission. I was on the planning commission as a volunteer for 10 years. And all the members on there are volunteers. They might not have time to read the material or sit down and talk to staff as much as they should prior to the meeting. As a county commissioner, we are paid. We are paid to do our job, and we should show up to the county commission meeting prepared. That's part of our job, and I feel that you should do your homework prior to our meetings. And of course, obviously, if you have questions or you're confused on an issue, certainly you can ask some questions, and we'll try to get answers for them. And I might be in that case myself someday, not understanding something staff wants to do. But I think it's the county government is a business, and we need to run it as a business, and move things along, and not sit there and just come in, make a decision, do your homework, and be ready to make a decision, be ready to make a vote, and we'll move on to the next item. That's how I feel we should run. And as I know, I have experienced some criticism because I go too fast, but most overall, everybody enjoys the business minded behind the atmosphere that I'm trying to create here in the meeting, so we can get items taken care of and get them done in a timely manner.
You had such a short time period as a county commissioner. Did you have any goals when you took over the presidency?
Well, again, I will say, we always look at the county. I look at this as government as a business, and that's how I'm treating the county government as a business. One of the most recent activities we took up was looking back into our impact fees, and we discussed that a couple of weeks ago, and consequently, we had to adjust the impact fees to reflect what we're dealing with with today and the data that we have. It took some people by surprise that our school enrollment has dropped over the last 5 years. However, our population has increased. We're the third fastest growing county in the state of West Virginia. So it was kind of ironic, and people they wanted to know where we got our data from. And of course, it came from the state website in Charleston. Once we presented this data, the data doesn't lie. And we had to make a tough decision and adjust the impact fee if it wasn't favorable for some people. But the one thing we did do is we kept these schools at $1. We did that as a placeholder. So in an event that their school enrollment does increase, we can increase that fee. So we were doing that. And some people did have very, very many favorable remarks when we left it at just put it as $1. They thought it was an insult, but we actually did that as a favor to the Board of Education.
That's interesting. You also eliminated an impact fee, if I remember, correct?
Yes, you're exactly right. Years ago, and I want to go back to when Wilt was a county commissioner. I don't know if you knew or remember Wilt. He decreased the commercial impact fee to almost zero, and they basically did that so they could increase the commercial impact fee later if they decide to do that. However, there's not an appetite to increase the commercial impact fee. And every 5 years when we have a study, there's no sense in paying for a study on commercial impacts when we're not even collecting a fee for it. So the best thing to do was to eliminate that. Certainly, any type of additional fees will impede commercial growth in our county, and certainly we want to grow our commercial base. And what a commercial business will provide to our county is way more than any impact fee we can charge them before they break ground.
There was, I wanted to get this because the pushback, at least on the school impact fee over in these meetings, it's come from most notably Commissioner Tabb, and she has said she feels like I think she called it short-sighted getting rid of these. Do you take that criticism, or is that something that, or do you, I guess the question would be is what would be your response to hearing that sort of perception of it?
If we looked at the numbers, the data over the last year, and the enrollment decreased, and we just said, okay, on a whim, we're just going to go ahead and knock out school impact fees. Yes, I certainly do agree that would be short-sighted. Last year, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there was a significant decrease in enrollment last year because of COVID. And now, if we would have made a decision just over that 1 year, yes, it would be short-sighted. But the data that we were using and looking at, what I brought to the meeting was over 5 years. So over 5 years, the enrollment has been declining. So I would say to Commissioner Tabb, just because we are collecting a fee doesn't mean we should always collect the fee just because we want to. It doesn't make any sense to collect it. And it's not fair for somebody who's trying to build a house or getting a permit to build a home. Now, just to be clear, we are still collecting the portion of impact fees that goes to EMS, fire, and Parks and Rec. So I just want to make that very clear. But it's just the school impact fee was dropped to $1.
I know something, Colin, you had mentioned to me several times, because masks are all we ever talk about these days, is the county commission's decision on a mask mandate, that there won't be one. What are your thoughts on that? Where do you go from here?
As far as having any type of mask mandates, we discussed that at last Thursday's meeting, and of course we had a resolution to not require masks in any county buildings, nor are we going to require any of our employees to have vaccination cards. I know there was a lot of employees that reached out to me that they didn't have any plans to be vaccinated and just kind of wanted to know what we were going to do. I mean, there's a lot of nurses out on the streets picketing now because the hospitals are requiring them to be vaccinated, and it's just bad. If somebody wants to be vaccinated, certainly that's their choice. And we just wanted to make that very clear in our meeting last Thursday. It's in the same way with masks. If somebody wants to wear a mask, certainly they're more than happy to wear one. If we're certainly not going to criticize anyone for wearing a mask. If any of our employees feel unsafe, certainly we can set up some more plexiglass. A lot of our employees who deal with the public have plexiglass in front of their desks. And if there's anything else where we could do, we can add plexiglass. We can do, get the maintenance involved and build something more safe for them. And it's just a way to let the employees know that, hey, if you feel uncomfortable wearing a mask, you don't have to wear one. But if you do, that's you can certainly do that as well too. I know a lot of people who wear masks. It's they have a hard time breathing, and some people don't. It just depends on. We can't sit here and have a rule for all. Everybody, I don't say the rule, but have a rule that everybody should wear a mask when they don't feel comfortable wearing one.
Do you anticipate going back to having strictly virtual meetings without a mandate from the governor, for instance?
No, we don't have, currently, we do not have any plans to go back to all virtual. Our plans, however, are to continue having what we call hybrid meetings. Just recently, about I don't know, back I would say in August, maybe July. Sorry, time slips away here, but we voted to allow the public to come to our meetings, and we do have approximately 6 to 8 chairs that the public can come in and sit in. All the other chairs are spread apart 6 feet, and some of them are reserved for our staff to come in and present stuff to us as well. So we still plan on having the hybrid meetings. It is very convenient. It's convenient for our staff. Some of our staff members still don't feel comfortable, and they can stay in their office and they can participate on their on what we call webinar, where and when it's some of our staff members prefer to see us in public when they present at our county commission meeting. So certainly that is their choice. I'll use one of our staff members this summer. He had to present something, and he was out of town. He was at the beach, so he took 10 minutes out of his vacation. He jumped on the webinar and he presented what he needed to present to us, and then it's a way to work remotely, and everything still is as efficient as if you were in the room.
Do you feel like the hybrid situation allows for more public comment or plays a role in public input at all?
I only been on the county commission since January, obviously. Talking to our county administrator, she says more people are involved and watch our meetings than what we used to have. So more residents are engaging and watching our meetings with this platform webinar that we're using, and consequently, I think we do have more people that comment, and they can do that from the right from their living room of their home on any topic they choose to, and anything we have, any type of topic we have for a public comment or public hearing on.
I'm glad you brought up public comment, Jess, because this was something I was going to ask anyway. The public comment portions of meetings can go a couple of different ways. They can be respectful and kind, and they can also be angry and insulting when some residents get up to speak. And there are some that I've noticed at the county commission meetings specifically where, you guys kind of just sit there and you listen and you just take it on the chin essentially. And because you don't respond, you can't respond. That's not how that works. Are there times when you want to respond? How do you keep your composure some of these times and just let it all roll off your back?
Well, having public comment is a way for obviously the public to come in and discuss something with us that's not on the agenda, or basically just get something off their chest that they want to talk to the county commissioners. However, I don't feel that public comment is all that. I mean, because you can always contact me by phone or email. I have coffee at coffee shops with many of our residents that want to talk to me about something serious. So, however, there are some residents that want to have a stage and come in and talk and yell, or and certainly how do you say it? Let out their frustrations with the county.
Let off some steam. Yeah.
There you go. So they're going to do that, and public comment it is what it is. It's a time for them to talk, and we just take notes, and it's just something that you get used to doing, and you certainly take notes, and certainly sometimes I know I would like to respond, but I don't. And
that's what I was gonna say. I listen to some of these things that people say, and I'm like, how are you saying nothing? At least at one point, I want to our last night's meeting, for last night's Charlestown meeting, the city of Charlestown, they had a city council meeting, and somebody came up for public comment, and they were so loud and aggressive and yelling and just being the nastiest tone of voice. And about 2 minutes in, Mayor Trainer said, "Can you please change your tone?" Which is the first time I've ever heard anybody say anything. That's rare, isn't it, Steve?
It is rare. It certainly is rare, and we tried not to. I mean, certainly we don't want them threatening anybody in the room. And typically once they do that, they will calm down. There are some things that there's a line we won't allow them to step over. How about that? Okay. And if that's the case, it sounds like last night Mayor Trainer probably felt like they stepped over that line. He certainly called them down on it. Certainly we're prepared to do the same if they step over a certain line. But it is interesting to sit there and listen to some of the things that we hear, but it's all part of the job. That's what we get paid to do.
You mentioned earlier about wanting to see Jefferson County be a place where we live, work, and play. And I've been doing some things with the CVB. There's the words I'm looking for. And Annette was just kept telling me this is going to be a great summer. There's going to be so many tourists. The business is going to be booming. What are you kind of thinking on the status of business in the county right now?
Well, right now, I know our tourism numbers have done very well this summer. As far as businesses, some businesses are still suffering a little bit from the COVID. And it just depends on what business model you have. If you have a business that you're able to sit your patrons out and on a patio and be outside, it seems like they're doing very, very well, and they have been for some time. If you have maybe something not as so a business where you really can't I don't know social distance, I guess that might not be doing that type of business might not be doing as well. But overall, our tourism is doing very well. Harp's Ferry is slammed every weekend, and then of course October coming up next month is going to, when the leaves change, people come out from the cities and they love Harp's Ferry. We love Harp's Ferry all the time, but that's a special time of year in Harp's Ferry. It's so colorful, and I know all the businesses down there are happy to serve all the residents, or excuse me, all the tourists that come out of town from DC, the metropolitan area. And it's just a good time, and it's a good place to have a business in Lower Town. And to piggyback on that a little bit, the Hilltop House, I know they're waiting and they're very anxious to get that building too. So and certainly they can tap into some of our tourism dollars here in Jefferson County.
You're the president of the Jefferson County Commission. When we talk to mayors on this thing, and Jess has talked to mayors on this whole podcast or show video thing. You have different places to go. Like you would think you have different parts of the county. It's not just one city, or it's not just one town. So are there parts of Jefferson County? I know what you're going to say, but are there parts of Jefferson County that you prefer over others that you like to go to?
Well, I grew up in the Ripon area, so I do like the more rural area of the county.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's really not any particular areas in the county that I tour all of them. We hike a lot in Harp's Ferry. We do come in. We do go to Shepherdstown occasionally, and go over there for dinner. So it's we tour around the county and certainly go to pretty much all the restaurants in the county from time to time. Not necessarily every night. I don't eat out every night, but I do love our local restaurants and our local breweries, and it's a good place to live. We have a lot to offer here.
I only have one other issue I want to get to. Jess, do you want to?
Mine kind of ties into that a little bit. You come from a farming background, and we have such a vibrant farmers market community in Jefferson County. How great is that to see? And what do you think of that as a leader in the county?
Oh, I think it's great. Anytime we can take our produce straight to a consumer and knock out the middleman, it's awesome. That's what farmers consequently fight all the time. We're seeing our beef decline at the stock sale, but it's mainly because there's only a couple groups that control the process of beef through the whole country. So we're kind of tied a little bit with trying to get our products straight to market, and our farmers market is excellent. If you haven't been, I certainly would encourage you to attend that. It's every Saturday. Is it Labor? I know it's during the summer. I can't tell you when they start. Labor Day and Memorial Day, or probably maybe end of September, I believe. But it's a great way for our farmers to certainly showcase what they're growing out on their farms and process. And I know there's all kinds of things to do there as well.
I'll ask you this question, and then we wrap things up with a couple fun questions. And as I like to say, it's all been fun, but These will be especially fun. I have to ask you about emergency services in the county, because I know that's an ongoing issue and that's something that continues to evolve essentially. And I know that there's a meeting proposal out there, I believe, and you guys have kind of mauled that. And I think that that's kind of coming into sight. Just real quick, generally speaking, where do you see that relationship standing? Do you see it moving in a good direction, in a positive direction? How are things going with it?
As far as our emergency services, I think it's going in a great direction. Our EMS, EMTs, or emergency services, they are moving up to be one of our largest funded departments in the county. So just recently, and I'm gonna go back. Forgive me, I don't remember the month. I want to say it was June, maybe May. We hired a company called Fish and Associates to study our emergency services to make sure we are operating in an efficient manner. They're pushing, like I said, they're pushing one of the highest paid departments in the county, and I think it's our responsibility to have to do this study to make sure that taxpayers' money is being well spent and taken care of and is not wasted.
That's fair enough. Okay, so now we'll get to a couple fun questions. I'm going to start with this because you mentioned that you like to go out to eat in Shepherdstown. Where's your favorite? I won't just say Shepherdstown, the best place to eat in all of Jefferson County. Where is it?
I would have to, there's several, but if you wanted me to pick one, I would have to say the Bavarian.
Okay. Jess, have you ever eaten there?
I have not. Honestly, I thought you were going to say TJ's Pit Stop, because that's what I've been hearing is the place to be now.
TJ's is I go to TJ's often. It's real close to where I live, and they have some great food.
Well, I'll make it a little more general. What are you watching right now? Movie, TV show? What's the thing to watch?
Yellowstone when it comes on. So
that's a big one in my house.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it comes on for a few weeks and it's off for 10 months, it seems like. So it's a long wait in between, but between episodes, that's for sure.
And this could be a long time ago because of the pandemic, what was the last concert you attended?
Jimmy Buffett this summer.
Oh, really? Yes. Where was that?
It was at Jiffy Lube.
Jiffy Lube?
Down in I say Haymarket, but I think it's
Bristow.
Bristow. There you go. Yes, there you go.
You mentioned you like hiking. What's your favorite thing to do when you're not doing all your roles and jobs?
I like spending time with my family. It's always great to just to have family time, and it doesn't matter what we're doing. It could be hiking with my family. It could be swimming. It could be hanging out at the beach. It could be just going out to dinner. But I have a very loving family, and just enjoy spending time with them. It doesn't matter where it is, as long as we're together. That's pretty much all that matters.
If you look at the Jefferson County website, you will see a picture of you, and you are wearing a cowboy hat. And behind you, there's a picture of somebody wearing a cowboy hat. So yes. What's up with cowboy hats?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and I rodeoed a lot of in my youth. Really? I did a lot of rodeoing. So I wore a hat a lot. I participated in rodeos, and I still have a small part in rodeos as a director. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. It's kind of like it's a hobby for me. Now it's a hobby. So it's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. I grew up on owning horses and riding horses and showing, and consequently my kids are doing the same. So they're really having a good time with it, and they're really enjoying it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, did you ever get hurt?
Yes. Yes, I've been hurt several times.
What was
it-
the worst?
I've had a probably the worst was a dislocated shoulder. That was pretty painful, and then I had a couple of concussions, but I had one really bad one.
We have football season. College just started. NFL's about to. Who are you rooting for this season? Who's your team?
Shepherd Rams.
They're in the NFL too.
Yeah,
Either one day.
I'm playing it safe. I'm going with my local team, my local college team. I always like to follow WVU, and I don't watch a whole lot of football on TV anymore, but I do like to root for my local college teams. So I certainly love seeing the Mountaineers win. I know they did do well last week. They're off to a rough start, but I'm certainly hoping. I know they're back in training this week and they're getting prepared. And I think this weekend you're going to see another team come out on the field, I hope.
And then we'll get you out of here on this, I think, unless if Jess has anything.
Okay, go ahead.
You've been on the commission for 9 months. What would you consider wanting to run again? Have you thought about that? I guess it would be in 3 years or so. Would you want to be president? Is this something you see yourself doing beyond this term?
Actually, the county commission seat is a 6-year term.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's a long time before I make that decision again. I could say I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing right now. I enjoy giving back and to our community, and I could say I'm certainly enjoying it, and it's a job, but it's a fun job, and I really enjoy dealing with people and coming up with solutions for our county and our residents and our taxpayers. So it's something that certainly I'll make a decision later on down the road. Right now I'm just taking it one day at a time.
That's fair enough. We'll talk to you in 5 years then, and we'll see what you think then.
Yes, ask me in about 4.5 years from now, and we'll see, and we'll have another conversation. And by that time, I might be, what hair I do have might be gray or maybe completely bald by then. But we'll do a before and after photo. How about that?
That's great. You'll have 4.5 years of public comment behind you at that point. Then we'll go from there. Commissioner Stolipher, thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, bye-bye.